Hey, welcome back to another live stream. As y'all see, I didn't do the countdown. I'll try something different other than counting down the video, just going straight into the live. So hopefully this works out good. But first off, I would like to say welcome. Let me make sure this did go live. Okay, it did go live. I'm on here. Welcome to another live stream of Delightful_Dawn. This is a late night confessional live stream. If you are a child, meaning under the age of 18, preferably, if you are adolescents, at least you have to be 16-year-old. Let me just tell you that part. That part needs to be true. But welcome into the live. Don't forget to like the live. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow me on all social media platforms. That is Delightful_Dawn. I am tired once again. You see the bags amongst my eyes. I haven't taken out the dog. He has to use it. And he's huffing and puffing and blowing the house down. And as you can see, the title of the live again is Late Night Confession. So basically, confessionals, once again, this is our second time doing it. And it's going to be fun. Go to your bed. I'm like, don't do that. We're not doing it tonight. Hey, Von D. Von D says, glasses. Hello. And then we have our girl, Trinity. She said, that's a baddie right there. Period. A baddie with no makeup. Ooh, y'all. I still need to figure out. I'm gonna get these mugs threaded. It's only $5 to get my eyebrows threaded at the threading place. I just haven't done it yet. I keep saying, oh, I don't have no money to get it threaded. It's $5. Stop being cheap. But you did it. Period. Hey, Alicia Girl, aka Slasher Chick, our YouTube name. Yes, this is officially our 14th live. Yes, hey ladies. Von D is not a lady, but there is ladies in the room. Hey girl. Hey. I guess normally we like to do the live by starting off with like a little like check-in. We kind of checked in. We did a weekly check-in yesterday on Friday. Today is Saturday. I guess we can do a quick check-in of like what's happened since yesterday or mentally. I haven't done anything today. Nothing special to report on. For me, today I was supposed to clean, did not. Today I was supposed to wash, did not. Today I was supposed to have an outing, did not. Oh, last night was crazy, did. We can talk about last night. We know let's not. That's a personal confession. We're not doing personal confessions. We're doing other people's confessionals. Hello. Last night was crazy. Oh, I didn't see his comment until you said something. Sorry, Vindy. Vaughn Z. Hey, Vaughn. I thought you was calling him a lady. I'm like, let me try to clear it up. I got my lashes done today, and I love that for me. Period. I haven't had my lashes done in so long that at this point, I'm feeling like I'm not a lady no more. I'm looking over to the side because that's my lash band. I don't know where my lash glue is at. And y'all will be like, well, Dawn, just go buy some lash glue. For some reason, I cannot allow myself to go and purchase lash glue, considering I have like 5 things of lash glue. And lash glue is not cheap, at least not the ones that I like. And I feel like I need to go ahead and purchase the lash glue. One of my coworkers, shout out to Moni, she told me about these individual lashes that are on Amazon that she does. So I think I'm gonna try to do those one day. Like maybe we'll get on live and we'll do the lashes. But yeah, I'm totally not feeling it. Shout out to the 5 in the live stream. Don't forget to thumbs up. We about to get into the confessionals in just a second. And you gonna check. And who gonna check you, boo? AKA Sheree. And who gonna check you, boo? I have a couple of bottles of waters left. I need to do some shopping. Um, for personal reasons. Like I need to do better, y'all. My refrigerator is scarce. Like it's nothing in that mug, but like 2 bottles of water and a couple of items here and there. So hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna go and get some stuff because I'm not gonna keep doing this. Okay, I can't be out here living lavishly and ain't got nothing in the refrigerator. Oh, me neither. Done my first time in years. Oh, girl, like I was getting my lashes done up until like the end of last year. The lashes and the eyebrows. What are you doing? Take your take your butt to the room. Cause get out of here. I already got beef with you. And I can't do it myself. Y'all talented. Girl, I'm about to do my lashes. Don't play with me. Hey Jaden0428. They say hello everyone. Hi Jaden. Okay, I'm checking my phone one more time before I go into the confessional. Oh, I never even uploaded, girl. Y'all, I done thought I uploaded this thing to the interwebs and never did. Let me find what I'm about to do, and then we can go ahead and get it pop locking and wet dropping it. Okay, I think it's the first one. Oh, that's not the one I want. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Where is it? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Finally, mug. Took me a minute to find that. Delete that off the screen. Okay. All right, just to go over what we about to do. Confessionals. Confessionals are always, hold on. Y'all, I feel like the hurry just keep doing a weird thing. Confessionals are always, hold on. Confessionals are always a very interesting topic for me. Only because sometimes we do personal, sometimes we do, other people confessions, whether they send in the confession or we find it from our beautiful Reddit. Tonight we're doing Reddit confessionals, which are some good confessionals, y'all. Like it's some confessionals I want y'all to read. I picked the ones that were pretty much PG. The ones that are PG like 13 plus rated R, crazy. Okay, today I was reading some with my friend and I was just like, I can't believe they said that. But the point is like to have a platform where you can, confess certain things that you don't feel comfortable sharing with family or friends. You just feel like, these are just thoughts that I have not yet feel comfortable with like actually putting it out there to people around me, only because I don't know if I can handle the backlash or the critique of people that I probably know. And which it totally makes sense. I understand sometimes you don't want to share things with people, especially when you feel like, okay, you may get, judged for it, or you just want to have a platform to share something and to know that maybe you'll get feedback in a way to where it doesn't feel like, ain't like that doesn't feel misplaced in a certain way. But today, I don't know if I'm gonna do one personal. I don't think I am. Could you please stop, Scrappy? No, Cage. We're not doing this. You're not about to be sitting here bothering me. He doesn't have a cage. Well, he has a crate, but when I say cage, it means bed. That was he was given to me with different commands. Okay. And he still didn't go. He just sitting in my hand like, girl, anyway, let me come sit in front of you. So my bad, y'all. I didn't mean to scream. Liz says confessions had a hold on me in 2019 to 2022. Girl, I had to stop reading. Well, today you're gonna have to open up the door. Open the floodgates of heaven and let it rain. Let it rain. Hey, Marlene. She says, hey, Dawn. Hey, girls. Hey, girls. Okay. Woo, woo, woo. Marlene in the building. So when Marlene get in here, that's how you know everything start popping off. Okay. Because we about to do confessions. And if I know about the confessions, it's like Usher. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said I like, I say my chick on the side. Said she got what? One on the way. What? You with somebody that you love and adore, that you have committed yourself with, that y'all decided to do life with, and to eventually, continue that partnership to where you think that you're going to marry somebody, and you go out and you cheat on me, and then have the audacity, well, I mean, not you, but then like to throw it in my face, to add, they said also, to add insult to injury, you go out and have a baby that I gotta, like this is a constant reminder, which y'all children are beautiful and are a gift from God. But to have a reminder that what we thought that we were good and that we was on the same path just wasn't. It's something. Okay, everyone's saying hey. All right, she said chill. Okay, all right, I'm ready. Share screen. You know what? I don't know if I want to share the screen. I think that I want to keep these confessions to myself. And I don't think that y'all even read along anyway. So we're going to read I'm going to read the first confessions that I have. And then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to turn down the music just a tad bit. Just a little bit because it's a little confusing for my brain. I'm going to drink some water and I'm going to read. Okay. This confession, I read just a little bit, just you know how you just kind of read to kind of see if it's giving what it's supposed to give, just to kind of like a backstory to see is it really good. Just I kind of make sure like the curse words aren't cursing too much, but also a confession is good when it has multiple pages. It has some words in here, so if you are a person that's sensitive, I'm gonna try to make sure I don't say the words that are a little sensitive. I'm gonna let y'all see the screen of how long this confession is, because this is a long one. This is a doozy. Here, I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm not gonna. This is how long the confession is. It's long. It's long, okay? Okay. That's why I'm not gonna even share the screen for it because it's just a lot. Not unless y'all want me to, let me know. I'm gonna remove it. And then I'm gonna just go through it. And I feel like, in honor of Women's Month, y'all like, okay, from friendship ending. I know it's Women's Month. Sometimes, every story that you have with another who is another woman are good stories. And sometimes we have to go through some pains to get some gains, okay? Okay, y'all didn't say nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the confession. Okay, so my friends hate me now. Pretty much, okay? This is what the confession was saying. We got back from a girls' trip out of state recently for one of our friends' birthday. In a lot of ways, I acted like an idiot. I'm super remorseful for that one. Don't really blame me for being pissed. I don't really blame them for being pissed at me. So it goes into the first part. I have to make it a little wider because it's a little small because she has a lot in here. Okay, so the Airbnb was way smaller than expected. It said to sleep about 7. It really was very tiny, 1-bedroom apartment, 1 queen bed, a couch, a bunk bed in the hallway by the front door, 6 women sharing 1 bathroom, everyone crap everywhere because there wasn't enough space. You would have to go downstairs to go to the lobby if you wanted more than 3 minutes to take a dump because everyone obviously needs the bathroom. I ended up sharing a bunk on the bunk bed in the hallway with another friend. I'm sure if I had more of an extroverted or a tougher personality, I wouldn't have felt as bad as I did. No one, she says, there was no privacy. It was very quiet. Everyone kept losing important belongings, phone, wallet, etc. among the mess. We um we were tripping over each other's belongings. It was stressing me out so much that I'm not sure why. But the best way to possibly could I that I could have told three of them. One, she says, my one favorite one. I don't know what that means. That was going to get my own Airbnb 10 minutes from them for the rest of the trip. Everyone seemed okay with it. I explained myself again that the next day, no hard feelings, but it's too much for me and I really needed privacy to take a shit and shower and shave. We even laughed about how I freed up one more space for the other five of them. It seemed fine. We had a nice day out together. Another part of she says another part of this is that one friend is a little fragile, I guess. We have all collectively agreed that it's annoying. She's the type that orders Domino's for everyone and then Venmo a request for $2 a slice for what you've eaten. She wants every penny back accounted for. The rest of us always just kind of rolled our eyes and agreed it's annoying. I think the rest of us also were on terms that I don't worry about how obviously it get back and always worked well for us. She says I felt taken advantage of by them financially. I didn't. Okay. I have. She said I have never felt taken. Okay, I read it wrong. I have never felt taken advantage of by them financially or anything. And I like to believe that if they felt I was mocking or taking advantage of them, they would tell me. Right. Another important thing to mention is that I've been a strict vegan for 14 years. I don't care that other people eat meat, and I can usually find something when I go out to a steakhouse with them or whatever. This time we were going to get literally exclusively meat, and I wouldn't be able to participate. They were kind enough to stop at a vegetarian place with me so I could get takeout beforehand. I Ubered us there and bought my own food, etc. Later that day, I get charged for Uber to meat place $3. After I had left the Airbnb and got groceries, charged because they went to Target and bought themselves cocktail weenies, beef jerkies, etc. And I was told I need to contribute to that despite literally not even being there to eat the groceries. And two, literally not being able to eat the groceries because I don't eat any of that stuff because remember she's a vegan. Oh girl, this is long. I'm feeling a little triggered. Like yeah, they're really trying her. Like, do you not? She still got more to say. I feel like the part of the story has not yet happened. First off, I want to just from what she's saying so far, I feel like one friend is very much inconsiderate and low key. I would not vibe with them. Like if you gotta cash at me every 5 seconds, of like I'm not staying there with y'all. There should be no reason why she's paying for groceries. There should be no reason why she's paying for meat for stuff. There shouldn't be no reason why she's getting charged for Uber fees if she's not in the Uber when y'all are going somewhere. But I digress because we're gonna keep reading the story. I'm not sure if this is my people pleasing tendency that I really need to work on, or if I'm just used to how our friend group usually operates. They operate like trash. But I was feeling really bitter about it, to be honest. At this point, I had paid for drinks, dinner for everyone the first night, bought breakfast for everyone the morning, bought several Ubers for everybody. I did not send a single Venmo request or ask anyone to pay me back because I honestly could afford it and wanted to pay for everyone to have a nice time. Explanation point, explanation point, explanation point. It was more important for me that everyone has fun and I throw up at how much. Oh, and she says I throw up, and I don't understand. I said I throw up how much money I spent when I get home. LOL. I don't know what that means, but okay, y'all can explain that. So one of my, oh dang, how many? Lord Jesus, this is long. I feel like, hey, hey, Auntie Imani, hey girl. Okay, I'm doing okay. She says I'm not sending nothing. I came in at the eating groceries. Exactly. Hey girl, hey. So basically we at the part. So I'm gonna like sum it up. So a friend goes out of town to celebrate a birthday. While she is there, they whoever booked the Airbnb that said that slept 7, but really in actuality it slept comfortably 4, and she was uncomfortable on how small the area was, like the Airbnb apartment. So she ended up getting an Airbnb elsewhere. And she also wanted to mention that she's a vegan, so meaning she doesn't eat a lot of the food that the people eat. While she was there, she paid the first night food for everyone, Ubered everyone to and from where they had to go, and then after she did all of these things, one of the friends kept requesting Venmo requests for food and groceries that was being bought for the household in which she wasn't staying. Like for meat and all of this stuff. Grant you, this particular person prior to bought food for everyone the night before, Ubered everyone around. But now that I'm not no longer in the establishment of the apartment, you want me to continue to contribute towards the trip that y'all have, and I'm not really utilizing the services. You know what I mean? Which didn't make sense on why she's getting charged for groceries. So that's what she's saying. Like, we're getting a backstory on like before the blowout. So she's trying to set up the scene. And pretty much her friends is trash. Like this one particular friend is trash. Like she keeps sending the Venmo requests for stuff and everything. Grant you, I still think she paid for the whole Airbnb. So not only I'm paying for the Airbnb, I bought y'all food the day before. I also Ubered y'all to and from. I also Ubered y'all food and breakfast for the morning after. Then I told y'all, hey, the space that we're in is too small for me to be like, I don't know if it's me, but I'm getting very anxious. I would like to go and get another Airbnb somewhere else about 10 minutes away, and then I will still join for festivities. And so that's where we're at. None of them are her friends. I mean, I don't know. Like at this point, I feel like it's just one particular friend that's trying her, but I don't know. Like it's odd. It's just a very odd situation. I mean, whenever I went out of town with my friends, I don't know if people held on to certain stuff, but the majority of the trips, normally when we go out, if someone pays, then they will share the amount of what everyone contribution is for that dinner, or if they decide to split it, or if we take an Uber, we will split the Uber in which the parties of who was actually in the Uber. Why are you touching me, boy? You scared the mess out of me, dog. This dog scared me and he knew it. All right, let's get to it. All right, so now we're at the part where she says, shout out to the people in the stream. Don't forget the thumbs up. We are reading a Reddit confession. Okay, these people are so far. There's a person. I just like the whole dynamic is weird. And also, let me say this: when you have a friend that kind of always like do annoying stuff, like whenever y'all do things, I feel like when y'all constantly invite that particular friend and no one never says something, or someone don't sit down with them like, hey, you know what? Like someone has to be close to that particular person that's always doing weird, shiitake. And I feel like that's also comes on you. You continue to let a friend have bad practices that annoys everybody, but y'all continue to allow them to come on trips or to come into situations or to come to dinners or to come out. So someone needs to talk to the friend, whether or not the friend continue to do it, but not saying nothing and letting it fester and build is not good. It's not good at all. And I've been in situations where people will let shit fester, and then it blows up to it's like, well, why are y'all getting the reason you're blowing up over a little thing is because there's a whole bunch of other like little things that led up to this that kind of build. It's almost like someone constantly like throwing paper in a trash can. You constantly throwing paper in a trash can, and no one's throwing out the paper. And the paper got information, but you throwing it in the trash can. Like this trash can is getting all this information. No one's never cleaning it out to the point to where now the trash can is overflowing, and it seems like a lot when really it could have been addressed at that first piece of paper. And so if it continued to happen, then there would have been a good reason to like, okay, well, all right, well, before we got to this point, there was X, Y, and Z. And sometimes also people feel like, well, I said something. And it's like, how did you say it? Like, did it really get like, if you want a friend to know something is off, or there's like you feeling a certain way, don't mask it in anger. Like it's certain people you can bring stuff to and they can get received. So some people like, I don't care. I said something, they just gonna receive it. I'm not that type of person. I feel like I know if they're your friend, you know your friend. And when you come to your friend with certain stuff, there's a certain way you're going to like approach the situation. Not until it gets like, I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of keep saying like, I'm just over it. I've been like this. Like, I'm just tired. Like, I'm mentally exhausted. I can't continue to say, hey, this is bothering me, or like there's something to how you're doing something is not really coming across as being friendly. Or sometimes you need a break from someone, period. But it just sounds like no one in the group have said something to said friend about behavior. And it ended up blowing up on her because apparently she doesn't talk to none of them no more. We about to find out like what happened, but she's setting up the scene on like everything that is happening. Yeah, it's kind of it's low key gaslighting. I agree. Hey Jay, I'm sorry. My bad. Facts gaslighting. Yeah, so hey Mo. Hey Jay. Thanks for coming in, y'all. We kind of towards the middle, but yeah, it's very odd. And as a person who has, like, I always say I'm not perfect, but for the most part, I am a objective friend. I'm probably like the friend that's always going to try to be objective in a situation. A couple of times I was like, you know what, I'm tired. I don't care what you got to say. And that's few and far between. But for the most part, I try to be objective. I try to be have like a perspective to where it's like, well, how could this play out on both parts? And also when people bring issues to me, for the most part, I'm very much receiving. Sometimes I might be hurt a little bit because it's frustrating, but I'm going to receive the information without lashing out on the friend. I'm not the friend that's like, F you, you said X, Y, and Z. Never been that. No one can't even claim and put that on me. Are you area code? Y'all can't say Don. No, for the most part, if you bring something to me, I address it. I ask questions because I want to know where it's coming from. If even if I don't feel like it's necessarily out of love, I feel like it has some validity to it to where I need to like step back and reflect. Now, there's certain people who would try to push on you, and it had nothing to do with you, which sometimes that's been the case where I'm like, you know what, now I feel like you're a hater. Now I feel like it's not coming from love, it's just coming to you just being like, just trying to like set a scene. And that stuff I don't like. When people set scenes for stuff and build, and it's not really what like reality is false of it, I completely disengage. Even family. I'm at the point, I'm 32 years old, I don't mess with it. I'm sorry. What you're not about to do is set a scene with truth and false and set me up. It's just not. Like, we too grown to do that. Like, grant you, there's certain stuff I'm just not like privy to, or like, it's just I haven't experienced. But what I don't do is scene setting. Scene settings of lies. Oh, my mommy's calling me. Hold on. Let me answer my mommy real quick and tell her I'm on live. I ain't talked to my mama all day, so y'all have to give me a second. Hey, mommy. I'm currently on live. I called you earlier, though. How are you, beautiful? So probably next week. I'll put you on the calendar next week, and we'll do a cute thumbnail and everything and have you on here. Tonight is a late night confessional live. I wouldn't advise you to come in, but I do want you to come on the live. The Lord will be with me, mama. Don't worry. I'm on live, so I can't be on the phone too long, mama. I ain't gonna compromise, mother. I ain't gonna compromise. Amen. All right, I'm do you need something from me? Probably not that long. I'm gonna call you as soon as I get off. I'm gonna give you a ring. All right, love you. Bye bye. Talk to you soon. All right, that was my mom. My bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. You know, you gotta answer the phone when your mama call. You know, life is short, and I would never not answer my mama phone call. I'm not. I'm not. My siblings would ignore my mama phone call or ignore my parents' phone call. I am not the person who ignores. Sometimes I'm gonna call back if I need like a little honey, a little breather. I don't ignore mommies. Okay, I don't ignore my mama. Okay, let's get back to the story because it's we stopped and discussed. We cuss and discuss, as they say in my job. Let's get back to the story. So she says, so one of my hobbies is instant film photography. Usually with an event, I'm taking pics and I have a whole collection of photo albums filled with pictures of everyone I love. And they are so special to me. They have quite a few times where people have taken all of the majority of the good shots and ran off with them, never to be seen again. It hurts my feelings. For some of these trips, I've told everyone birthdays, get 3 pics for her choice. Everyone else can take one, like the birthday girl, and I'm going to scan them and upload them to the group album later anyway. So on the last day, and y'all, this still ain't the end of it. This still ain't the end of it. We got we got a good little we got a next chapter. So the last day, the last day of the trip, I left my camera at their Airbnb on accident. But I kind of figured that someone would bring it home. Most of us live 30, 45 minutes away from each other. I can't grab it whenever I see the next day. Instead of it, I get a text in the group chat saying, none of us can bring your camera home, so we left it outside the Airbnb. I'm getting mad. I need a second. This is a good story. Scrappy, don't do it. Scrappy, no. Because first off, woo! Let me read the next little snippet before I have any comments. Because right there, we would have been beefing. First off, whoever texted that none of. What was the reason? Like they said, what was the reason? Why couldn't you get the camera or contact me? Someone called me like, hey girl, the camera here, we trying to fit it in the back. First off, you don't have to even put the camera in the back. You can hold the camera if you get on an airplane. Are you driving? There's questions. Did y'all drive there? Did y'all fly there? Where were you? Oh Lord, let's keep going. All of them had left to go home already, so I had to Uber back to their place to grab it along with the pics I had taken, only to find out that they took every single Polaroid home with them out of the 60 shots that I took and didn't leave me one single one. I texted the group chat something along the lines of, thanks for leaving me none of the Polaroids, even though I specially said that there's literally 6 of them. To take literally 6. So she's saying, hey, just take 6 of them, which they said something along the lines of, we couldn't bring your camera, sorry. Woo! Girl. I don't remember what was said verbatim because I left the group chat. You left the group chat. No, you said what you said. Sit in that group chat, sis, so we can find out what was said. My feelings was hurt that they left my camera. In hindsight, it seems pretty silly for me that I was upset about it. It was my belongings, and I was ultimately responsible for them. I guess I had figured that they had left anything important with them, that I would have done anything to make room for it, rather than just leaving it outside to possibly be stolen. I was also upset that my Polaroids, because holy crap, I just wanted a few memories to look back on fondly, like how beautiful my friends looked, on how much fun that we had. I wanted something to put in my album for a nice trip. Film is so dang expensive, and they didn't even leave me one. This coupled with the looming charges of cocktail weenies, fried chicken that I didn't even eat or want, I was feeling so hurt. Okay, we still got a little part. We still got. I'm about to check the chat real quick. I'm about to the leaving the camera and items outside for me was crazy. Like that right there is some petty ish. And even if like certain times when you go places with friends, and grant you when you do go out of town with friends, people leave at different times. So people plane leaves. So first off, someone had to acknowledge that the camera was there. Yes, girl. Someone had to acknowledge diabolical. Yes, they are. You had to acknowledge that there was a camera that was left. So meaning when you was packing, you like, well, who can take this with them? When everyone said no, where's the logical, empathetic friend? So y'all don't. Is she the one? She's the logical, empathetic friend that no one could make it work and put it in a bag or ask like, hey sis, hey Alicia, or Lizzie, hey Lizzie, you left your camera at the house last night, and we don't think we can put it in our bags to take it home with us. We're trying to figure it out. By any chance you think you can get this camera, we don't want to leave it behind. Like, yeah. And so she would have said, well, either yes or no. Like, girl, I can't really get over it. Can someone try to fit it in? And I come get it later when we get back to Dallas. Then I can come pick it up because I don't want to, have to go out of my way. But if no one can fit it in, then I'll try to come and get it. Like, I'll swing by. I'll try to swing by. You know what I'm saying? Something. I don't know. I would have been fighting my camera. I would have sent. I'm sorry. I just click on that. That is everything. Alicia, aka Slasher Chick, aka Alicia, because that's her name on YouTube. She says, they could have sent me via Uber. They could have sent them via Uber. I would have sent them the Uber bill that it was for me to come from my place to pick up the camera that we all collectively used. Here's the $13 for all of us. And when they would have asked, if they would have fought me over that $13, then you would have been getting the bill for the dinner, the breakfast, because it's been plenty of friends, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, they didn't want it. Baby, she says, I didn't play about my camera. Make it fit right. Now those aren't her friends. Those are not friends. Those are like that mean girls. Like like the mean girls who like everyone's close, but they're not really close. It's all surface. Like there is no real true love that's going on there in that group. I'm just trying to get my camera and be done. Girl. Let me give a perspective of where I'm like mentally like dissecting this situation. So also, of course, we all have different friend groups, and one of the friend groups, a lot of them, everyone doesn't make the same amount of money. You know what I mean? Like she said, like she can afford X, Y, and Z to purchase dinner and everything for everyone, and it not hurt the budget for her. I am most likely in most friend groups is at the lower end of the budget. Okay, I'm going through life. I don't have as much money as certain people, and I let that be known. Like I understand, I feel it. You can't invite me to everything good. I'm making know this is how much I have to spend. This is within my budget, and so sometimes friends will front certain things. Be like, I'm going to pay for this. No one has to pay for this particular thing, or they like, I got this, and then I try to get stuff that I can't afford. I'm like, well, I can pay for this. Like, don't worry about it. And then, we'll discuss things accordingly. But I just feel like things are just off in this particular group. Like I don't stack what I do for people. And once that becomes like a conversation, it's like, okay, well then we just need to do stuff differently. And people who like to say, well, you do the X, Y, and Z with them, or this is what I've done for you before, that's petty. And I'm not gonna say that they're not your friend, but it shows the maturity level of the individual that you're dealing with. And I'm not a person like, okay, well, I'm not messing with the person anymore because the maturity ain't there. You just know how to deal with certain people and what you are willing to like contribute to situations. So maybe we don't do out of trip girl trips, maybe with certain people. Maybe we do local. Maybe because just in case I need to get out of Dodge. Either way, I'm getting out of Dodge, whether local or international. But if you always, girl, girl. Yeah, that's what friends do. Okay, let's get back because this her story gonna be the whole lot. We're not gonna be able to get to the other confessionals. Okay, so she said, so here's where I did the unforgivable thing. Ooh, oh. So our friend Francesca, we're gonna call her Francesca. She retaliation has set in for her. She has, observed the situation and she thought, okay, it's time for me to blast hoes out. Okay. Blah 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 blah. She was Nicki Minajing them. Okay. Blah blah blah. She wasn't playing. Okay. Apparently, I don't know what she about to do, but she says the unforgettable thing is happening. Hey, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not picking you up. Stop. Go to your room. Go to your room. I'm not dealing with it. I don't want to kick you, but I will. I'm not gonna kick him though, y'all. I just gotta get rough with him. Give him empty threats. Period. She says maybe we just stay local friends. That's the thing. Sometimes you can't do stuff with certain people. And let me say this too. Sometimes when you meet someone who don't make friends easily and say they can't deal with girls or girls ain't their things, they don't run. I'm not gonna say that because anyway. Okay, let me get to the story. Not unless y'all want to know. Okay, I posted about how pissed I was on my close friend's story on Instagram. It was at 2 a.m. right when my flight landed. Oh, so they was out of town. And I was extra hurt, stressed out, pissed off. All of them were blocked from it. And it was about 10 minutes because it didn't take long for me to realize how stupid it was. I should have just talked to them about it, but I didn't. I wrote that I felt undervalued, hurt, and upset about not getting any of my Polaroids. I was hurt that they ultimately... Hey! Stop! My bad, y'all. I'm gonna reread it. She said, so she posted about how pissed I was on my close friend. Why are y'all talking? He's not over here. He's next door. Get out. No, go to your room. Because now you're about to upset me. You see I'm talking. Anyway, she wrote on her Instagram story around 2 a.m. when her flight landed that she was pissed off. Okay. She said she was hurt and ultimately disregarded that her camera was disregarded. I was pissed to be held financially accountable for things I didn't even partake in. I was super effing pissed that they didn't let me into the shared album to see the shared pics that I got. It was stupid. I should have taken all of them. I should have talked to them all about it. Anyway, one of the 3 people who viewed the story sent it to them. And they got really mad. One of them has a bad habit of sub-posting about people she mad at rather than confronting them directly. And she was making posts about me, how terrible I am. I blocked her on Insta, not to be like, I hate you and never talk to you again, but more like, please just talk to me instead of sub-posting. I know that I did it and it was a mistake. Okay, pause sis. First off, no. You did kind of the same thing that you talking and you don't like for them to be subtweeting. You basically talks about your friends and not talking to them first. So they did the same thing you did. You know what I mean? And secondly, I don't feel bad that you did post. You just post what you post because you was upset. You could have talked to them maybe. At this point, they are being horrible representation of anything that is friendly of a friend group. And they are not your friends. I want to know how you ended up in this group. Let's talk about that. How did you get in the group? Who sent you the link to the group chat? Beat up the person that sent you that link because they need to get slapped. They need to get slapped. But she didn't tell them that she was peed off. Yeah, so no, she where my earring at? Okay. So at this point of the story, she did not share that she was upset about the behavior of that was of the trip with the group about her camera being left. I said left it is not a word. Being left. None of that was done. She didn't communicate. Then she also went on and made a post, took it down, of course, because sometimes you make like you say stuff because you out of anger. You don't know how to like articulate what's going on, but you upset. Yeah. Right, but she took it to social media. Thank you, Vonti. Hit the like button, y'all. Child, I'm done. Girl, we ain't done yet. You can't be. She's too immature. No wonder they are all friends. Yes. Like, don't get me wrong. Her behavior was also immature. But okay, let's play devil's advocate because sometimes I do stuff too because I've done some immature stuff too. I feel as though she's processing of what's happening. She's also processing that the people that she thought was her friends, like the least a little decency that people would have, they don't have. And she's also processing it alone. So that's why you need friends. Like, you can't have everybody in the same friend group. So maybe her other friends like, girl, F them. But you just be like, okay, am I tripping? Like, you processing it and it's not like everything's not calculated. I do feel like the post was petty, but I understand. Like, I've done like little like sub stuff. I'm like, it ain't that deep. And sometimes I don't even care that much to sub it. Like, it is what it is. Like, life people here and there. But the whole first off, when she had texted the group, she should have shared her disdain. Her disdain on the behavior, and they should have stayed in the group and talked. Like, she should have never have left the group. Her making a post, you already said like briefly about how you felt, and you never addressed it. You know what I mean? So you just kind of left it. It'd be different if there was already conversation prior to, and then you kind of like left it where it's at, but you never kind of addressed it. So, which is interesting. Okay, good. Let's get into it. Anyway, okay, so she realized it was a mistake. So I feel like, she's remorseful. She realized, okay, girl, I should have never posted all of that stuff. I should just talk to my friends instead of doing this. It was too much. So she says, my other best friend, not in this group. Girl, I knew she had to talk to somebody, and also heavily pregnant. Why is always the pregnant people involved in stories like this? Replied to one of her posts insisting to talk to me if she was mad at me. Ooh, best friend was pregnant was like, lick her, honey, bunches of oats. Shortstop. If you got a problem with my best friend, I thought you should talk to my best friend instead of making me post. Come on, pregnant friend, go sit down. Don't get involved in this mess. Don't. You carrying a child. You creating life. These girls creating issues, including your friend. To which my other friend told her that she is a worthless, unimportant to her, and that she would have no self-respect if she ever to speak to her again after the quote-unquote lies that I spewed. Well, frankly, I have read that dumb story over and over and cannot find one lie. It was immature and stupid, yes. Definitely, I felt like an idiot, but didn't say a single lie. My camera was discarded. I got none of the Polaroids. I wasn't given any access to the shared album. I got charged for I had nothing to do with. All of it was the truth that I just wanted. That I went and about addressing it wrong. She said all of it was truth. I just went about addressing it the wrong way. I made a mistake because I was emotional. Alicia, that's what I feel like. The emotions was very much overwhelming, and she just kind of like put it out there. But she did say she, took it back. It wasn't up there no longer than 10 minutes. 3 people viewed it. She deleted it. She's like, you know what? Let me calm down. But grant you, she had all of this time to fast. Like, she had a whole flight, ma'am. You had a whole flight. She was upset. Anyway, everyone else blocked me. And she says, anyone else? Let me read it. Anyone? Anyway, I don't know why it's so funny. Anyway, everyone else blocked me everywhere except one of them who took the time to tell me that I didn't get my precious precious Polaroids because I would draw mustaches on them anyway, which is such a crazy thing to assume. Anyway, because all of them know that my album that about my album and how much I love taking pictures, she said that the lies I spewed were these. One, on my story, I did say they threw my camera into the streets, quote unquote, where actually left it outside of the Airbnb. Semantics. I can see how that could have seemed as deliberately lying, but ultimately I had meant thrown into the streets, like discarded without care, which shows how I felt about it, not the actual thing. She didn't say that, but that's what I'm getting from it. Two, that I lied about paying for their meat eating activities because they paid for my vegetarian one? Question mark. This one I was confused about and asked her if she had any receipts or texts of info of anything showing that I charge anyone for anything that I paid for, and let alone my own thing, in which I replied I was being hysterical and needed to chill out. That she replied I was being hysterical and needed to chill out. We towards the end of the story, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is interesting. This. I mean, this ultimately hurts my heart because I feel like for her to be so candid about where she sees her wrongs, but also where she sees like the hurt in the situation, you can see she's an objective friend. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but she don't see that where she was perfect. So when people tell stories and they tell you stories about how they did everything and they was just right and the person was wrong, run from them. That is a person that is gonna bring you nothing but drama. I'm just gonna say it. I had a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends. A lot of friends in different areas. What color is it? What? So somebody block this person. She says, well, they left it in the. She says, well, they left it for the streets. Period. Somebody block that person that's in there. But period, sis. I might have to do it just in case. Oh, we already did that. But it was. It's very odd that they don't. I don't know, from my perspective, it just seems like very odd. I hate to see friendships fall apart. Yeah, me too, Alicia. I hate to see it, and it seems like she comes here and just listen to the rest. We at the end of the story. She says, I blocked the remaining ones that didn't block me. Because every time I would sincerely apologize about it, I was met with remarks about how I was quote unquote self flabbergating and not being quote unquote sincere enough. Flabbergating, I don't know what that means. It was hurting. She says it was just hurting me to the point. Also, yes, I did pay back all of them for the money that I owe without disputing the bull. I really shouldn't have paid for collectively about $250. I was accounted for everything I spent voluntarily without anything that was just for me. Airbnb, vegetarian food, my own Starbucks trips, LOL. I had spent about $456 in addition to that $250. I probably would never see it again, and it would hurt less if they didn't all hate me now. Just typing this out to realize how effing stupid it all was. Oh, I didn't curse. I thought I cursed. Especially me. I acted like a moron, and apology, I make it unacceptable to them. It's scary to feel that you did something so unforgivable. I want my friends back. I want to feel like I'm being heard when I try to explain myself rather than being written off as having all these deep character flaws. More than that, anything, I want to understand why it was so easy to cut me off. I did more for them individually than they ever have done for me collectively, all done for each other. I love them so much. I still do love them. It's scary, and so I'm confused. I really, I'm not really looking for advice as much as just looking to air it out to strangers, because there is a narrative being spread about me that no one would tell me about directly or help me understand. I don't even care about, I don't even care if they see this. I still love you guys. I'm sorry. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I don't understand. She says, I don't know what that word means either, girl. Maybe I was reading it wrong. I don't know. I can't read. I don't. She said she didn't owe them that money for no meat, girl. So let's dissect the situation towards the end. So towards the end, you can see that obviously this is a group of friends that she was close with. Obviously, she feels where she was wrong. Like, you know what? Maybe I should have never put on internet. She don't internet. She don't understand how what she did was just diabolical. Like, it was for her easy, like for them to, like, you know, cut it off. She needs to be out the group. Maybe the same way that y'all was discussing the young lady who likes to send the cash apps and Venmo requests about what you owe. They were discussing stuff about you that they didn't like. So it just seems like a group of friends who don't keep each other accountable, a group of friends that disregard behavior that is not acceptable, at least for them in their friend group, a group of friends that not yet reach the level of maturity in the friendship to where there can be candid conversations about certain things. And you know, sometimes in groups of friends, because it seems like it was a nice, collectively a good amount of them, because she said it was 60 pictures and that each person can get 6 and the birthday girl can get an additional 3. And then like it seemed like it was a big group. So I mean, somebody in groups like that, everyone has a friend that they're close to. Like someone may be closer. Alicia may be closer to Lizzie than I am to Lizzie, and then Lizzie may be closer to Marlene than I am to. Like you just have like someone that you kind of confide like certain stuff in. So someone, I mean, in groups like that, it's the dynamics are always kind of like, you know, set up in a way to where people kind of have someone they may just be a little bit closer to. So obviously no one was close enough to her to talk to her about it. But very odd, very odd. That's how. Okay, let me read the comments. You know what? Communicate. Yes, the communication. She says no one knows how to communicate. Girl, I'm over all of them. Let me sit back. You know, let me rest my loins. So, from the story, you can, girl, I'm about to get to the part. From the story, you can obviously see that that also the group of girls, or yeah, because girls, they ain't no ladies, because you could just see that there was a lot of already probably just issues. And I feel like when she said she don't know why they cut her off, I mean, girl, you went on the internet and talked about them, and then you probably like they had all of this beef just festered on the internet, and there was no behind the scene real conversation. And she it seems like she reached out to them and tried to apologize. I honestly feel like that for no one to have came to her and try to get her side of the story, they should have kind of met up. I feel like there should have been, because it seemed like they all live in the same city. She said 30, 45 minutes. She should have did like a lunch. Like, hey, let's all get together. They probably didn't want to come, but at least send the olive branch of that. If they didn't come, they just didn't come. And then you just write it off. It's hard to write off friendships because sometimes those are ultimately more important than even romantic relationships because it just is. Like the friendship breaks are harder than romantic breaks. Because when you when you leave a romance breakup or where it's not continued no more, you normally have your friends as a source for love and support. Like the support system comes with the friends. Hold on, because this dog is trying me. My bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah. Friendships are really important for people, especially for me, for a person who's like a friendship girl. Like I like girls friends. I like guys who I can be friends with everyone. Like I don't believe that you're gonna be friends with the same sex, but I just feel like those friendships are like really like a part of your foundation as a person and how you go through life. I just think that it's unfortunate that it seems like this particular friendship group was a part of her foundation. That's why she's so hurt. Because certain times, like sometimes when you leave certain friends, but she left a whole group was taken away from, not like a friend or two. Like this was a group of girls that she probably did life with. So I have like remorse for her for that. Like that's hard. Also, I feel like you have to see the blessing and the lesson of the situation, because those probably weren't your true friends. Honestly, you know what I mean? Because you could have continued to do stuff with them, and you would have continued being drained. But she loved them, just like how there's a dog out there barking. Just how you love a man. He do you wrong. He don't call you when he say he gonna call you. The communication ain't there no more. I understand. That's your man. You're gonna stick beside him. Those are friends. She gonna stick, but she would have stuck beside him. But they was like, we ain't sticking beside you. She says, number 6 pictures. I like the pic of the person. The rest are going to be uploaded. Yeah. So I just like the way she did it, just kind of off. But she said she kind of realized they probably was out there drinking and having a good time, and she just didn't think to do what she needs to do regarding the camera and then the pictures. And maybe they wanted her to take some of them to her Airbnb. Maybe when she left the Airbnb, she should have offered for someone to go with her, but maybe she didn't want to inconvenience the group because it's supposed to be a group trip of everyone being there. It's just odd. It's just an odd situation. I don't know if she could be. I don't know. The fact that I left, she said, okay, Lizzie says, fact, I left a friendship this year. I miss them, but it's for the best. I'm not dealing with you, sir, because me and Skype about to be left. Stop it. You're doing too much. You know I'm on live. She says, but the foundation can't be one-sided. It sounds like it was. Agreed. I feel like the foundation of their group, I don't think it was a foundation of their group. Let's talk about that. I feel like the group was very much what they call surface, superficial. And that's probably why when this situation happened, there wasn't no real accountability for her. So maybe she was wrong in this situation, and how she perceived the situation was one-sided from her, and maybe she's missing a lot of parts that they have the information for but didn't actually give to her, for them to kind of like, hey, this is what happened on our, this is what we remember. And what I mean, because it's not a full-sided story. This story is from one perception. This is from one person lens. There was additional people in this situation that saw and viewed the situation differently. Let's just talk about that. I just don't think that the foundation of this friend group was ever truly strong or really had a foundation for it to come to this. Also, to a certain degree, I can relate to the situation. Only to a certain degree. Like sometimes, like in a group, there are situations where people fall out, and when there is trying for communication, it doesn't happen, and so people just kind of like step back from like, okay, I'm not dealing with it. And then also it could be the person that's like, well, if you're not dealing with it, I don't need this. And so then it becomes like a clash. But it's never been that dramatic for me. It's been like, okay, well, I guess we just cooling it, and then if we can talk about it later, we can. If we don't, we don't. But it's still unfortunate. So I still feel like it's it's very hurtful because in my view, when certain friendships ended that I've done like dealt with like within the last 2 years, each situation, which it wasn't a lot, was hurtful, but it stemmed from a reason, and there was multiple attempts to try to resolve the situation before it got to that level of like, you know what, it's nothing there. um I do feel like people always need a second chance, even yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't. Everything has It's always two sides to the three sides to the story. Your version, their version, and the truth. Your version, their version, and the truth. And I feel like my version of stuff may be different from another version when it comes to like situations, and that's fine. And then we gotta meet in the middle for the truth. And sometimes I may be wrong, and I'm like, dang, I don't remember that happening that way. Like, dang, I was tripping. Or like a person may be like, well, dang, I didn't see it like that, but I can see where you're coming from. That's why you want objective friends. Like, you don't want no yes man, like I said before, and we did it live yesterday. You don't want no yes man. You want people to keep you accountable, and that's why I feel like with me, anyone that I've said like this is like a true foundation of friendships, those were ones where I'm like, dang, I love you. You're not part of my life no more, but like I would never devalue. Okay, this person. Not unless it was just like one person. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, you was a lot. And now that I look back on it, like you was doing all of this crazy stuff, but I still miss them. Like there was so many good times in between the drama, and I just feel like that, like behavior wise, when you have people who don't keep you accountable, and for the most part, we had conversation like, "Hey, girl, you tripping about this." I just feel like you sometimes want people to baby you, and that's not realistic. And so our falling out didn't have nothing to do with us. It did, but it didn't. It had something to do with a whole nother situation, and how I'm like, I need you to be like what I need for you in this situation. I'm going through like life. And I grant you, she lost something in the situation that kind of affected her, but I had to still deal with it, and you didn't have to. I just need the support from you as I go through this situation, and then we can see from there. But then once I'm like, well, dang, like you making this about you, and I now in hindsight, I feel like it was a lot of manipulations, not on us, but the other people behind us, because we had to both choose people in the situation, not because we had to, but we were like kind of like put in a position to where it was just so much drama between those particular two people that it caused a wedge between us, which also we were able to see that there were other parts in our relationship that just wasn't like connecting. And I felt my way, but we never had to this day we never had a conversation. It's been 2 years. We never had a conversation. I can see where she was like, you know what, I can't do nothing more than what you allow me to do. And I felt like you're not doing nothing in the situation but adding drama. That's how I just felt about it. We didn't have a conversation. I felt alone. I felt like, well, instead of you bringing, I'm just peed off. In our last encounter, someone had said something to me about what she said, and she probably didn't say it, and now I look at it, and it peed me off. I was like, no. What I don't do is, like I told y'all before, is the creation of stories of truth and lies to demise, and then try to gaslight and be like, well, this is what. I don't do that. I just don't. I try to be very honest in what I say and what happens and how I perceive things. And if I'm wrong, I'm like, well, I may have been wrong about it, but let's get an understanding. And at that point, I was like, no. And we just ended up. I was just like, I'm good with you. I'm done with the situation. Wish you well. It was very Shawnee O'Neal. Your services are no longer needed. It was very dramatic. And honestly, I do feel like the way that it ended, to this day, I feel bad how it ended without a true conversation, because for the most part, I always felt like I was always having a conversation with this person, and it always felt like she wasn't listening. And it's like, well, I understood. Like, I always gave her grace because I'm like, well, this isn't normally in your groups of friends. Y'all don't talk. Y'all bicker, and then y'all dissolve and don't talk for a long period of time. Y'all may come around later on. And I'm like, I don't do that. Like, in my friends group, we try to have conversations. You know what I mean? There's some sort of mutual respect. I just couldn't do it no more. And I'm like, I'm learning. You older than me. I'm still learning how to navigate certain situations. I just felt kind of like discarded. It felt like I was being. It's almost like I'm gonna throw it away before you throw it me away. I was feeling like there was a build up of like drama, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna just throw it away. And it was immaturity on my part, but I also felt like the other person just wasn't like roses on them. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just roses on them. Like, they just wasn't just vindicated, and the person that they had behind them was making them feel and that was it was you this let me tell y'all this. If you have a disagreement with a friend, with anyone, we talking about a friend now, you have a disagreement with a friend, or just have there's uneasiness in the situation, don't allow another person to be a spokesperson for that person and their feelings. You're like, I need to go to the source. Go to the source of the information and then get what's going on. Because when you get a third party, they don't really know how that person feels. They're getting it as a second party. They're dissecting it and then relating it to you to make it digestible for you, and to probably try to, mend it. The person that was relaying information was just simply trying to, in their weird way, in my brain, I'm like, was trying to help the situation, but they made the situation worse. And I was obviously upset, like in it, but I never felt vindicated. Like, people who feel vindicated in chaos are people I don't want to be around. I never felt like this, like it, even in the midst of it, friends was telling me, well, you know what, F it, like let it go. I'm like, but no, I just don't understand like why they would do this. And was I wrong? Like, like maybe, but I also didn't have the mental capacity to deal with it, because I was dealing with a situation with a family member, and that situation was more severe than what people knew about. Basically, it was a very severe situation, and I didn't have much support. The support I had, yes, I like that was a good foundation of support, but it's stuff even now to this day people are finding out where I'm like, because it all feel in vain. The support that I gave that person ended up turning out to be just in vain. It just ended up turning like to be a vain situation. But there was a lesson in that turmoil for me. Like, through all of that, like I learned the lesson. Like, you just don't take what people say as the truth. You always question stuff. You got to keep people accountable. You don't if you have a disagreement with a person, or there is if there is there's an uncertainty, you need to talk to the person and then give it some resting period for stuff to like kind of die down, and then maybe address the situation. Like, they just don't go in it full throttle and be like Nicki Minaj and going off. Like, you need a resting period to kind of think things over, ask the questions, get through it. Thirdly, you got to give people grace and give yourself grace. Nobody's perfect. 4. Also 5, I would say you just have to have boundaries in life, and that's something you have to discuss with yourself, because people who are easily to discard people, half the times there's other stuff going on to where it has nothing to do with you. So I feel like in her situation, her being discarded by her friends, maybe it was something that had nothing to do with her. She just wasn't aware of the multiple conversations that was going on behind the scenes, just how they did the other friend in the group who was sending out the messages wanting money. They kept saying how she was annoying, but no one ever really told her. They just accepted this is how the friend is. It could have easily been her. Um, at this point, give Scrappy the mic. Girl, he's so extra. Extra, 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 extra. Okay. All right. How do we like that story? Did we enjoy? Did we enjoy the story? I think that was a pretty decent one. Her story was long. I do wish that she does find, since she has other friends, that she finds value in herself, that she evaluates the situation, and hopefully from this situation she grows and learn from it, and in her next friendships or her ones that she continue with now, that they continue to grow and develop. She give herself grace, and they could maybe in the future, have a conversation. I don't think they're gonna be friends, and I don't think that she should be friends with them. Only because at this point you've already odd managed yourself out. You've already odd man yourself out. It's like it's like almost like it's 5 against 1. And it's like they've already probably had multiple conversations about it. That's another thing. So all of my groups of friends are different. So when people fall out in certain groups, we don't all have discussions about 2 people falling out. It's like, dang, I wish they could have worked it out. But for the most part, I think that's how I know, like, there's a certain situation that's now, I'm not gonna say who, to where like there's been some discord in the group. We haven't talked about it as 2 people. Like, it was briefly, it was with love, but there hasn't been like no real conversation. And I always like, that's why I feel like there's hope for the group. They probably like, no, it's not. I feel like there's hope for the group, and everybody don't know that the group is no longer a group. So that's another indication. Like, that's different from what she went through. Like, she went on and made a whole post. I didn't make no post. Other people didn't make no post. No, there's no. If you know that the group isn't together, it's probably maybe like 2 or 3 people that probably know, because they just notice that the person just is no longer. And like the group is no longer in like multiple situations. But I feel like that's a true indication on, you just have to communicate. And even now it's like, well, girl, you didn't communicate. I'm still learning. Even bad behavior, like I now know how to like can spot certain stuff from people where I'm like, oh, I can't deal with that. I don't do backbiting at all. I know that's something I can't deal with. I know at a certain period of time in my life, I wasn't like, I'm still going through, like I'm over that hump to where like chaos, I don't want to have, I don't want to bring that to nobody. And I don't want that to be brought to me, with love and respect. I also feel like I'm a very much an oversharer. I treat everybody the same until the playing field is no longer what it is. I do feel like that certain people feel obligated to know information about you because you share a lot, and that's what I put myself in a situation. They just feel we should just be able to. And God is so good. There was a situation recently where I was being guided to be put in a situation, and something about it kept saying me no. And one of my friends was like, girl, don't do that. And I was like, well, they offered. I'm not going to do it because, it's not something that I would normally do. Hey, keeping up with the Griffins. All is well. All is blessed. All is good. Nice to see y'all. Hey, family. I met them with Meet and I within their group. They're wonderful. Go over and check them out. Meet and I, as well as Keeping Up with the Griffins. We're talking about the confessionals of a young lady and then how it relates to my. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the situation. So from that situation, God didn't put me to where ultimately 2 months later I seen a true version of a person And I was like, dang, I almost put myself in a situation that would have been the same situation before. And like, yes, I would have contributed to it, but it's sometimes God would not allow you to do things. He's like, you look here, look here, baby. You already say you tired. You tired, but you keep putting yourself in situations that you shouldn't be put in. So in hindsight, something told me no. I've mentally like, no, I can't do that. Like I'd rather just, start off, just build back up and not go straight into the situation like this. My friends like, yeah, girl, don't do that. You right. You need to just learn how to do X, Y, and Z. And then now we're here, and I'm like, God had my back the whole time. And something about, I'm like, yeah, I already know. Like I had felt the way, but I'm like, you don't know everybody, and so that's why you get to know them. And something didn't feel right about it, but God had my back. Let's say God got me. God got me. She still has clear skin. I might not be the cutest, the skinniest, or the prettiest, but baby, she blessed. Happy to be here. How happy that y'all are here, or you were here. I know about the whole family, but yes, isn't that amazing? Okay, so with that being said, we've been on live for a good little second. I don't think I'm gonna do another a letter. I feel like that one was deep. That situation about the whole friend and her not being friends no more. That was a deep conversation that hopefully people can learn from. Because when I do the confessionals, it's not to be catty or anything like that. I felt like we went through the situation, kind of discussing like what could have been done differently. I feel like whenever you get into friendships with people, you like when you have to go through life. So people are like, well, that's why I don't be friends with people. No, you have to, like, it's a part of learning and growth and development. It's part of maturity. If you don't go through stuff, you're not going to know how to deal with certain things when you get older, or just things in life that may come up. Because certain, what is called transferable, they always call it transferable skills. So those are transferable skills within these relationships that you can utilize in other ones. So like you need to go through things in order for growth and development. And so if you don't go through nothing, you're never growing and you're never developing. And so I feel like you just have to go through it. And maybe this situation may have been bad, but what you've learned, you can use it in other situations, hopefully for good and not for bad. But yes, that's how I feel about it. I feel like that's growth to even say that. Okay. Like so sometimes when you think about like what you done been through and how you got through, and you like, I think right now she's at a point to where she's like, I miss these people and I want to be a part of this friend group. Um, and it seems like it's still fresh because this was only about a day ago that she posted it. That she's still going through it. Once it's been a long period of time, it's just going to be a distant memory. It's like being with a partner. Like it hurts at first when y'all are no longer together. You go through the pains. When you look back a couple years, like, dang, I can't believe I was tripping over old Billy Bob. Billy Bob wasn't the best of partners. Billy Bob used to Billy Bob it. And you like, okay, well, life did move on. I'm still okay. And that's what, never to say, okay, you need certain people in life, but life does move on. Of course, we know when there is something there, like a strong foundation of like a friend or a loved one, you want to definitely cultivate it and everything like that. But life be lifing, and there's different seasons for folks. And you have to be confident that God is going to have you in the next season, whether they're in it or not. So we're gonna end it on that for that story. We can do the next one. The next one is a little lighthearted. But y'all, that was I don't know, Keeping Up the Griffins. We just read the craziest story. But it was also a story that I feel like a lot of people could relate to, just because of the different layers of like situations that was coming up, where we seen where, okay, maybe even she had accountability of what she could have did differently within that situation. And also she just felt like, honestly, that she just wasn't being heard, and she just kind of reacted. So sometimes when you react without thinking, then it just kind of makes it worse. And of course, you don't really know how situations are going to happen. So I think when people say, well, if you would have did this, you never know. Not until it happens till you kind of know. Like, you don't know the end result or the outcome. It's not a science. It's not like you making food. Like, these are the ingredients. If you do it precisely like this, you're going to have this cake at the end. It doesn't happen like that. Life is not baking a cake. Life is not making, a pie. Life is just not. Like, life is, to me, is like, cooking soul food. It's what you put in it. Hopefully. Okay, maybe that's too much. Anyway, not Billy Bob was Billy Bobbing. Because Billy Bob was Billy Bobbing, okay? One of the last, hopefully, I do, the stuff that I be doing. Like, last night, I made some Billy Bobbing mistakes. I didn't, the Billy Bob that shouldn't be bobbing in my life, I didn't Billy Bob Dop Dop. Oh, back to Billy Bobbits. And I said, girl, what are you doing? Girl, do you not know? What you tripping? But I did it just for the sake, I'm saying? I didn't do nothing. But I'm saying, no, I just entertained it for a second. And I said, girl, do you not, you ever tell, like, how God be having your back? Literally, I don't know if everyone's like, if you're not a believer, it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but just take the story. God or the universe, whatever y'all believe, having your back and constantly being like, you keep getting in this situation and you're not understanding. I'm trying to, do what I gotta do, but you are the person that, ultimately put yourself in situations because you move the way how you want to move. I allow you to do things how you want to do it. I have my hand on certain stuff when it's, needed. But ultimately, you are the person who is controlling your life. Like, you have your own thought process and everything like that. You make your own decisions. Woo! I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm saying it. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm saying it. Where is my... Okay, that's for my little boo snacks. She good. I have to make sure everyone is good in my life. Okay. But that was fun. Okay. Let me read the next. Let me just look over the next one. I feel like I can do one more. Confessions. No, I feel like the next one isn't as good as that. Isn't it sad? I feel like I should do it. I feel like I should do another confessional. Let me see if I can find one that's on the same like bracket as that one. That was a good one. I ain't gonna lie. Popular. Okay, at least I can go back. I'm like, where do I find the other one? My best friend saved my life by throwing up in the bathroom. How long is that? Okay. Ooh, I think this one is good. So this is something on a brighter note. Let's end the confessionals on a brighter note. Okay. Let me position myself. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna just let y'all read this one with me. Share my screen. This is the second one. So there it go. I feel like y'all not gonna read this, so I'm just put it back down. Y'all ain't reading it. I'm basically reading it. Okay, so my best friend saved my life by throwing up. Hold on, y'all. Let me check the ring camera because he over here acting up, and I want to make sure everything's good out there. Yeah, nothing. He tripping out. I think it's the dog that's next door or across the street. It's a couple of dogs in the neighborhood. He just be tripping. Okay, my bad, y'all. Okay. Mo, don't be laughing at me. I'm too much. Okay, my best friend saved my life by throwing up in my bathroom. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our senior year. I had a lot of anxiety about growing up and getting older. We all do. My whole life felt like a front bottom song, and I was drowning in loneliness. Oh, she seems so depressed. Um, I could be in a room full of people and still feel absolutely isolated. There was nothing that could cheer me up. I couldn't choose between picking a promising, stable career versus doing what I love and being financially unstable. I decided I decided that I was going to unalive myself so I could unalive a teenager and forever be trapped in a beautiful spring evening. I'm not saying certain words. I planned my final day, writing notes to everyone that I love, taking my dog for a nice long walk before cooking him a steak. Ooh, not the steaks. My parents are divorced and live in two different towns. I was staying at my mom's, who was on vacation at the time. My friend heard that my mom was out of town and wanted to live it up since it was spring break. I was hesitant, but she had been my best friend since middle school, so I decided that I owed her one more good night of fun and I would carry out my plan when she went home. We went to our school for a basketball game where we ran into some of the other friends who invited us to the party afterwards. The party was nothing remarkable. My friend got wasted. I chose to stay sober so I could drive her home. On hold on, I'm trying to see where. Okay, all right. On the way back from her house, she said she had left her bag at my place, so we stopped by to grab it. In my place, we were looking around for her bag, and she suddenly slapped her hands over her mouth and ran up to my bathroom. That means she was getting sick, super sick. Oh, okay, they're saying hi. Okay. Oh wow. I'm doing great. Okay, okay, okay. Ooh, this is juicy. She got sick. Okay. Anyway, okay. Where did I left off at? She was kind of okay. I followed slowly behind her and saw that she was crying into the toilet. Vomit was everywhere. She had thrown up all over the walls, floor, sink, bathroom, herself. It looked like a scene from an exorcist. She was apologizing profusely, though I couldn't help her. I couldn't help but laugh. I ran her a shower in the guest bathroom, put the makeshift hazmat suit on my mask face, flip flops, garden gloves to clean up the vomit. It took me about 40 minutes to scrub it clean. I told her she didn't have to do anything since she's already felt awful and she was crazy sick. Like your friend is sick, they throwing up. You've already decided to unalive yourself during this period of time. You get one good last shebang of this experience. That's what she's thinking. I just told her to grab a change of clothes out from my closet while I finished up. When it was finally clean, I had a shower for myself, went downstairs to find my friend baking me cookies in the kitchen with my favorite show playing on the TV. She didn't say anything, she just gave me a hug, and that was that very moment I decided that I didn't want to unalive myself. It was like I had been cured. I'm not sure what it was, maybe the mutual love that we have for each other, but at that point going forward, I had never felt or been happier. We're both in college now and still our best friends. This is your sign to hold on to a little longer because it will get better. That was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can't stand my must say I wouldn't have even cleaned it up if I knew. Just when I try to have a good moment, you know what? The people just be people. I wouldn't have even cleaned it up if I knew it was about. I knew about to be out. I was about to be out. Mo said, if I knew this was gonna be my last day on this green earth, I ain't cleaning up Shataki. I kissed it. You too. What does that mean? You too. KUWCG. Oh. Oh, Keeping Up with the Griffins. My bad. I can't stand Mo right now. Okay, let's talk about it. It's the comic relief. Okay, I think that's a good indication of like, okay, this the comic relief sometimes in situation. That obviously this person, sorry about the squeakiness. Obviously, this person was going through life, and it was something that they said that was very much interesting. Hey, boo. Hey, Neve. Because I know it's not Miss Neve and not Tuck, but if Tuck is around, hey, Tuck. Um, that you can be in a room full of people and feel absolutely alone. And that is a statement that I always kind of hear from people, and they're like, you ever there's a song by Alyssa something, what is the song? Do 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 do. I can't think of the name of the song, but it's basically like her, how she's talking about like she's at a party, she's sitting in a party in a corner by herself, feeling completely isolated, alone, and she's like, I just rather be somewhere else than where I am at this moment. And I feel like a lot of people go through that, and that has to do with a lot of I think like depression. So obviously this person was depressed and going through life and just completely felt isolated with, oh, I didn't see you said hey before. You had said hey, Donnie, my bad. A whole time before. And they was just feeling really displaced in life. And then it takes literally a moment or like a word or just someone's presence to kind of reset your trajectory of life. And I feel like that's this indication like of how friendships are important, and like sometimes it's not the end. Like this was the end in this like the situation, but also a beginning of like life, and how God put certain people in your life to kind of give you the extra push and motivation, even if it's not something that's like truly deep and in depth. Like, okay, they didn't say nothing to me. It was just merely their presence that saved me. He saved me. Okay, even though we're not messing with R. Kelly, but he saved me. No. He saved me. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Give me 5 seconds real quick. I need to go get my charger. Say hello amongst the folks and how you felt about that story. Did it work? I need to get a new charger, y'all. Okay. Ooh. Lord. Okay, my computer acting weird. It's like looking defected. Okay. So we're gonna see. Oh, Neve, it's going good. We just reading confessional letters. So far, it's been like a theme of like friendship. Apparently, very deep. Like some people are here for you. Some people are not. The first story we went over, we were able to see that everyone is not your friend, and how to communicate. It was like a lot of just a tea of a situation, and we had a little dialogue, had a nice little discussion, cussing. And we just figured out that there are different seasons with folks, and it's not the end. Then our second story, we talked about a young lady. I think they were a lady, an individual who went through a period where they didn't feel like their life on earth was basically meant to be. and they had decided to unalive themselves and make it a beautiful situation, send out letters and go out with a shebang. And it just so happened that their best friend came over and threw up in their restroom, and they had this very much bonding moment that stopped them from actually going through with their plan. And now this person is thriving in college and is very much grateful for life and grateful for a good friendship. I hope that person, I just want to say that when you have thoughts like that where you don't want to be on this earth, I would most definitely say to get help, to reach out, tell someone how you feeling, and y'all can kind of figure out how to get some help. Because ultimately, that person needs some therapy. That person needs help because you just do. Like, just say you and your friend fall out, are you going to have those same thoughts because you don't know how to deal with life without that person? And I just want them to have a strong foundation of self-worth and value on this earth, to where if something happens, everything doesn't just fall apart. And so that was something I had a conversation with someone before. It's like, everyone I believe should be on this earth. Not unless you just a horrible person. Like, I don't never wish death on nobody. Life happens, and I feel like when you are a part of someone's life and you're just contributing nothing but negative energy, that sometimes you may need to be like removed from it, and that's okay. Like, maybe you don't know you are that negative energy for someone, but you don't want no one, like, if I'm removed from your life, then your life is no longer, it seems, to have any type of means of existence. Like, it's like, well, I can't live without being with you. People, and it's normally women and men in relationships where if they're not with a person, they deem life unlivable. I don't know how I'm gonna live in this world without X, Y, and Z. And I understand, like, the emotions that you attach yourself with people can be crazy. Let me read this comment before before I start talking about that. Mo said, because Mo was talking about the story with the young lady who wants to unalive herself. God is always on time, even when we perish from this world. I feel that we are still in the best hands. God's hands are where I'm safest, and I'm always in them. Period, Mo. Shout out to Mo. That was a good reflection and word of wisdom and motivation. It was nice, yeah. Before I was in this world, I was with him. So with him, I plan to return. He has us. Girl, shut up. She said I came for the tea. I can't stand her sometimes. I don't even know what was I talking about after I started reading my comment. Oh, people in this world. So sorry, y'all. Like, I'm like, squirrel. Like, what happened? But so, I believe that there should be a strong foundation of yourself, so that way when you do come on life issues, that you don't feel completely dismantled and unable to flourish or like thrive. And so sometimes within life, some people don't have like a soundboard or a foundation of like a friend group, that I feel like maybe that's where it's necessary, definitely, to have a therapist, to have someone to be a soundboard in your life, to give positive feedback. And if they see signs, and you just be honest with them where you don't feel like you want to be on this earth, then you can communicate that and they can get you proper help. Because everyone deserves to be loved and to feel respected. Even if you don't have like a strong foundation, maybe you can like join groups online. That's why a lot of people kind of run to YouTube, and they have like a lot of friends on here, or a lot of YouTubers are actually antisocial in real life. I don't know if y'all knew that. I was reading like an article where it talks about a lot of YouTubers are antisocial. So when they say like, "Oh, I'm a shy person," but you see this very robust personality that comes across you on the screen, and you're like, "Oh my God, they seem so fun! Like, I want to be around. I can tell that they're a good time." And then come to find out that person is very antisocial, very scared and timid, don't deal with like situations easily. Like, just very kind of, I'm not gonna say like they're underdeveloped when it comes to like being like that person they view. Not to say that that's not them, but that's a version of them that they feel comfortable. Y'all are their friends. Like, that's why a lot of YouTubers come on YouTube, and like, or a lot of people have YouTube channels, because it's almost been like this self like respect and like comfortability, or shall I say, a vulnerability, as well as confidence that they may not have out in the traditional world where, where they're not on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that the personality that y'all see in front of y'all here on YouTube is the same person I am in person. I don't know why, something is wrong with me, but I have not always been very much like a robust personality. Like with people, I was very quiet for a very long time. And honestly, I feel like YouTube has been a part of that growth and development with me feeling comfortable with people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like at this point, who I am, like I've shared so much on YouTube that there's nothing that, I always say you can't spray me with my own tea. People already know this, like it's on the World Wide Web. What are you gonna spray me with? Every like moment has happened unless it's my super person. If you want to spray me, like then you just being honestly just being an evil person with like super personal stuff. But for the most part, I feel like I am who I am. Like you're gonna get the same personality from me. I've been this way forever. I was like everyone always knows that I was like I was super antisocial. Not antisocial, I was super just afraid up until about high school. Once I graduated from high school, one of my goals was to basically come out of my shell and to make friends, to make a name for myself. And I always said that I wanted to have a legacy. I wanted to have people when I leave this earth can remember me and like I have an impact. So that's why when I talk about Untitled Chapter, Jessica Petaway, who recently was departed from us, like those people have a legacy. Like people are going to talk about them for years to come and then use their YouTube channels, social media as a point place to like go and get encouraged, just go to hear their voice, or to go and just kind of like step away from the world through them and the content that they shared. Okay, I'm reading Mo comment now. Mo says, Mo the GOAT. I'm sorry, y'all. Mo the GOAT. Especially a lot of people in the America, Caribbean, people of color deal with a lot of trauma, and sometimes it's in our blood, passed down to never get addressed or treated. I love that thought process. Yes, so that is a good comment, Mo. As a person of color, a person who also in our particular culture, because that's probably the most appropriate word to use. In our culture, we're always taught that you don't share information outside a household. You don't go to the doctor. You don't go to the crazy, like they crazy, they going to the crazy house. You don't go and get help. And I feel like in the past couple of years, that idea has been completely debunked. At this point, you got rappers, singers, politicians that are going out and they are being an advocate for getting therapy and getting help. And I love that. Like that is no longer like our culture of thought process, but a lot of people still do. Like they're like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not until you deal with certain stuff can you even be like, this has a true level of importance. I've always been an advocate for therapy, but never actually did it until about 2 years ago. Because in my mind, I don't think I'm perfect, but for the most part, I'm like, I don't really need therapy. Like, but I feel like everybody at least need to try for one time. I didn't know that I had such a level of anxiety and depression that I just didn't address for the longest time. And my parents or the people that was around me just kind of just like overshot. Oh, she's a happy person. But also like how the young lady in the story before said that she could be in a room full of people and felt alone. I related to that because that was me a lot of times. I felt like I was in a room full of people and I felt like I wasn't present in the room. Like I was just kind of like going with the flow of the room. And a lot of times I was completely depressed and I could be in a room full of people. Literally a room full. I was at camp. I worked at a camp in Branson, Missouri for about a year. I did like 2 summers, I think. And one of the summers, I had a whole full panic attack in the kitchen. Full blown panic attack where I was completely overwhelmed. I felt like I was like Like I shouldn't be there. I felt like I was in a place full of people, and this was like we lived there 24/7. It was constantly campers coming in and out. We had a full staff, and the person who had kind of like my like kind of a supervisor, she was like your like your behavior, like I can tell that you're going through something. And I totally did. I'm like, I'm fine, I'm good. And as soon as she walked away, I completely bawled, like having a whole moment. I'm like, why am I even here? Like I feel like I'm in, like I don't feel a part of whatever they have going on. Why am I here? There's like I don't understand the value of why I'm in this particular place. And in hindsight, what it was is I was going through like very much every day. I was going through a mental battle being there, of not feeling like I was supposed to be in this area of people. I was just kind of depressed. Like I just didn't know what to do. Like I would sit and have banter with people. We would talk about stuff, come up with things. We'll laugh and we'll like play. And then I would have moods of feeling completely like overwhelmed just with life, because I felt like, well, when I hear they stories of where they going after college, I don't have that same like input to give. Like I don't know if I have the same value. Like I was feeling like my value wasn't the same. And not only that, throughout my college days, I would have these like, I don't know what I'm doing. I would have breakdowns. I couldn't deal with certain situations. I couldn't deal with like people sometimes. And my mom, she later told me like, I was worried about you. I would call your counselor, but y'all didn't have like no like a therapist. And I said, yeah, we did. And I said, but you didn't think to ever like reach out and find me someone else? Because I didn't know, like I didn't even know there was a such thing. Like I knew people was therapists, but I didn't know you could have someone like to talk to and kind of like go through life. And so not until, my big age, did I get someone, a counselor, not a counselor, I got a therapist. And when we were talking about, I got a therapist because of a situation. So I got a therapist because there was something I keep talking about it without talking about it. Like it's an elephant in the room that we always talk about in our lives. I don't talk about it, but I'm talking. I'm not gonna say what it was, but there was a situation that happened within my family, and I mentally at this point felt overwhelmed. I didn't feel like I wanted to check out or like that, but I was just kind of like I could do with or without like being here or not. Like I was just like it would be easier that if I was removed from the situation and not had to deal with it. And so within us having our therapy sessions, she said, remove this situation. Why do you think that you are responding the way that you're responding to it? What has happened in your life to make you feel unsafe or unheard, or feel like you have to like be there for people in this such a way and be accountable for it? Like what has happened? Then I realized that growing up in the Black culture, when your parents wasn't there, you had to be responsible for people and their well-being. If they got hurt, you was in trouble. Like you were responsible for people. And once my sister had left off to go to college, I was now responsible for a household. And it always felt like I didn't never feel bad about it, but that's where me feeling responsible for people and what happened to them came from. And then also like other situations that was traumatic for me, that I always felt like I didn't have a voice, because I was always told that children should be seen and not heard. So that was the whole thought process as an adult. Well, I can be somewhere and be there, but I don't get to have a voice. Like my voice was taken from me as a child. Like you don't get to say nothing. You don't get to have an input. You should be seen but not heard. So a lot of the things as I grew up, that was like a traumatic part. But like that was my thought process. You should be somewhere, and like you don't get to kind of like combat. So like when I was bullied or stuff would happen to me, I was like, well, I was there. I didn't have a voice. I just like masked it and kept going. I was obviously different from my other siblings, meaning I was the tallest out of the girls. I was the biggest and I was the blackest. Everyone was a lighter shade than me. So then it became a form of like colorism, to where I felt like I wasn't pretty. So I always felt like that And I don't think my mom knew she's light skinned as well, and she didn't know like when she always used to she favored them not because of their color, but in my brain it's like, is it because that I'm big and black? It was because that they needed, well, it's like more attention. Like my sister had her own thing going up that was older than me. Then there's a baby that my younger sister. So a lot of times whenever they said, Patty, you okay? I just said yeah because I shouldn't be a problem. Children should be seen and not heard. So a lot of times of my feelings or things that were going on, I never discussed that with my mama or with my daddy. So it was just like a lot of stuff like kind of like built up to where in my adult life or teenager life, like I didn't realize I was letting all of this stuff like go over me, things that happened or things that were maybe more traumatic that I didn't know that was like abuse. I'm like, well, I didn't know that I thought that was normal. I mean, I never talked about it with no one. We never, like, it was 6 of us. We was told that, you know, what happened in the house, stay in the house. So I just thought things were just normal. So when my big age came and all of this stuff kind of happened, I'm trying to have somebody, you know, back. That moment just allowed me to be able to kind of figure out like a lot of stuff in my life. So I always tell one of my friends, I was telling her that sometimes I feel a little underdeveloped in life as far as like a lot of stuff that happens with people I didn't have to deal with. I don't, nothing crazy, like to me, nothing too crazy happened because I'm always been taught, like I always had a perspective of to be grateful for what I have, that it could always be worse. And so that was always been my thought process. That's why I never talked about nothing. Like, okay, something happened to you. You could be dead. Like, why are you tripping, Patty? You could be unalive. Something would happen. Well, it could be 10 times worse because you could have just not had nothing at all. Like, you know, God has always provided. So it's always kept a level headed of a perspective to where like it could always be worse. Like, just think that, you know, at least be grateful for X, Y, and Z. And so that's always been how I've dealt with life, because people would say, why are you always so happy even when you mad? Why am I always so happy even when things are hard, tough, like I'm sad? Is because I always have the thought process of, honestly, you never know what can happen, and God has always had his hand over you, and it could have been stuff that he could have been like backing up that you don't even know about, and you should just be grateful. But it doesn't negate the fact that you need to sometimes mentally process stuff so you can develop and grow as a person. And so certain stuff I just don't know. So romantically, that was a part of it, and which I feel like that's why God had kept me for so long, and that's why I had such a jovial attitude, because I never had to deal with romantic drama. I never had to deal with partner issues as a teenager, and mostly as an adult, because that was something that my mom also told me, like, you don't do X, Y, and Z. Stuff is meant for married folks. So for the longest, that had been in my head. I'm like, there's so much joy out of here that you don't have to have with a person. So I had identified myself as being asexual. I was like, well, I don't really want to be with nobody. And that was the stamp that I had from middle school up into high school, college, and into my adults. Let me read I'm just talking, y'all. Y'all probably like, don't we not even talking about that? But somehow we got on it. My bad. She's most said you right. We don't trust mother efforts in our business. Black folks, like hell, gotta be half side there to go into the doctor, especially for therapy. It's not, and I'm happy that that's being debunked as a thing that we need to like be super sick. In which there is a person in my life where she is sick and she do not believe in doctors, and I keep praying like God humble her, don't take her off this earth, but she needs to go to a doctor and she needs to get help and to get seen, at least so she can have a longer lifespan than what possibly can be, because she's in denial about her health. That was definitely being the narrative of our culture, but it's been slowly changing in recent years. And I honestly, for a person that I don't, I think that's to be true, is because I watch a lot of Charlemagne, like the Breakfast Club, and that was one thing I was grateful about, that he had been such an advocate for it. And a lot of people don't like him, but honestly, that changed the culture a lot, because then he started advocating for, you know, rappers, because a lot of trauma comes from that. A lot of rappers are now, and rappers have influence on our culture of like our younger culture. So if they talk about therapy, they talk about talking, that now opens up a door for another generation of people to know that you don't have to suffer in silence. You can go and get help. It's not like you dealing with the traumaticness of people always dying around you if you live in a hood or live in an underdeprived, neighborhood. There you can get help. You need to process that. And also there needs to be more therapists out there that can relate to these situations, because then if you go into the therapist's office, Miss Mary Beth don't understand, and they outcome or like how you should deal with the situation may not be culturally relative to your situation, but you still need help. Okay, hey, go sit. I'm not dealing with you. An out of body experience. Yes, the pressure of dealing with. Hey. No, this dog. This dog is trying me. I cannot do. I had to pick him up and put him in my lap. It's the dog for me. Could you express your experience since you started therapy? How do you feel since then? So when my experience for therapy is actually a very good one. Like I said, I went to therapy because of an isolated event. And from that isolated event, I was able to find out other stuff that maybe people been talking about years to say that I probably had an issue with, but I was actually able to work through a lot of stuff with it when it came to like how my childhood or upbringing had a huge impact on my life now. And not to say that it sounds real surface, but it took a lot of growth and development and accountability within inside therapy to help me get to a point to where how can I identify a lot of stuff. And I feel like it's a process. So it's not like overnight you're going to be like, okay, I'm fixed. But I felt like I was going to therapy once a week. And at one time I would look forward to it because I felt like each time we left, there was homework. There was a level of accountability and growth and development. And why I feel like having a therapist is probably almost as essential to like having like a strong support system of like a friend group or family is because when you talk to family and friends, like they have it's years and years of them knowing the situation. Yeah, they give positive feedback on stuff, but when you have a therapist, it's unbiased. So I mean, in this situation, they don't gain nothing from it. Like their main reason to talk to you is to help you grow and develop as an individual. And for that, I always felt like someone told me you need to be completely open and honest in order for you to really get out what you need from therapists. I mean, don't come in there lying about stuff. So I would always tell her one thing that I was looking for. I wanted someone who was of color. I wanted someone who was preferably a woman. I wanted someone who basically looked like me. Not to say like skin tone, but I wanted someone who culturally could understand where I was coming from and help me like basically get through this particular, like when we started therapy, my goal was to get through this moment in my life that was completely like shattered it. I felt like I felt unstable, and I felt like there was no hope in regards to a person. And she was like, beyond this particular situation. That's why I love, like honestly, she don't know how much like she's been such like a good part of my life. She helped me see beyond that situation where we needed to work on other stuff. And then from there, that's where she had told me where I am a year ago, a little bit under a year ago. She told me where I would be now would be where I'd be if I continue the behavior that I was allowing myself to deal with and just putting myself in these situations. And I'm like, no. She was like, and I said, you right, but I don't think that I could leave someone like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want that to be done to me. But she was like, this is what's going to end up happening. And what she said was to be true. I didn't listen to her, grant you. I did therapy for about a year, like off and on a year. Well, I did it for a year. Last year in June, I had some issues financially. in which I was supposed to go on this big cruise with Meet and I. All of that had to halt, but I made sure I did therapy. I had stopped my therapy, and now it's been 1, 2, 3, 6. It's been 6 months since I have not been to my therapist. She ended up moving from one facility to another, and I keep saying I'm going to go back only because I felt like a lot of stuff happened in between that had nothing to do with what I originally went to her for, and I want to go back just to be able to have that accountability and continue growth and development, because honestly I don't know how, like, there was a part of me getting through a season in my life to where I felt completely um I felt like that complete out of body experience to where there was no hope. I was hopeless. I was hopeless in my life. Then I felt like I had the foundation of friends, some family, and then I got a therapist because I felt like I'm being a burden on my family and friends with this constant, like, it felt negative. It felt like this way of, like, my auntie was like, y'all, you stressing me out. And I said, I don't mean to stress you. She's like, I don't want you not to talk, but I'm just letting you know, like, this is a lot. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go and get a therapist. And once I got her, it became a source to kind of break down certain information. And sometimes we wouldn't even talk about the situation. We would talk about stuff and goals that we have. For me, that helped me deal. Like, there was other stuff that I needed to honestly put towards business to make me a better person that I didn't even see or like notice. Grant you, um, I always say that I'm not the person that I was. Like, you're never, like, you're going to be a person that constantly what is the word, evolve over time and in life. So the same person, like the person you was last year, you're not gonna be that same person. The person you was 5 or 6 years ago, you're not gonna be that person. But there's still a version of that person that you have within yourself at present moment. And I felt like with doing therapy, I was able to see those different versions and how to contribute them, or delete certain stuff that I would allow into the new version of Dawn that I am today. Grant you, I'm not perfect. I don't feel completely whole, but I feel whole enough to continue to want to make myself a better person. And I do advocate, like, most definitely. The only reason, like I said again, I couldn't do therapy, I had to halt it, was because of financial reasons. And even now, like, that's a part of, like, my issue, like, when it comes to, like, insurance, it I couldn't afford to do therapy once a week. And even if I could have dimmed it down to twice a month. And honestly, just once you stop going, it's hard to get back into the rhythm of it, because now you have to put yourself back on the calendar. So when you have a therapist, they put you on like an automatic time a week or whatever day you have with them to put it on the calendar, because they have other people they have to talk to. So once I was pushed off the calendar, couldn't afford it, trying to get back on the calendar to get my regular day and get that time of the day, I prefer to do therapy in person, because it's just a level of, like, vulnerability that you have. She also offered virtual. I did those too as well. My preferred was in person. And so all of that just shifted because literally financial reasons. And I'm like, dang. And then just to look back, like, well, I didn't purchase all this different stuff in between it. But just during that period, I had to cancel it. I wasn't doing nothing. Like, people can tell you, I had stopped everything, like my lashes, like all that, like, surface crap that people talk about. I had stopped it because I'm like, I can't afford it. I feel financially, like, at the top, and I need to make sure other stuff is done. And so it's just me getting back on the calendar. Now she's at a new like, she's on her own. She's doing her own thing now. And I didn't complete something correctly. Well, I need to go back and just complete it, because I feel like when I talk to her, she can be like, oh my goodness, why? How did all of this stuff happen? Literally, I stopped doing therapy and started acting a fool. Nothing to do with what we started with, but, like, one of our goals that we had on that was about me wanting to develop romantic relationships in a healthy way. And I developed them, but it wasn't healthy. It was dramatic. And I'm like, what in the world? And also to have even a bad example of what that looks like as for me when it came to, like, other people, that didn't make it any better. And of course, people say this is what you should do. But I'm like, I don't see you doing that. And obviously, we do is what we see, not what you say. Like I see you doing this. Obviously, this must work better than what you're saying. But sometimes you need to take heed people's advice. I was just bad. Don was just bad out here. But the Lord has a way of working things out. I will say that much. Scrappy, can I put you down now? I'm tired of you being in my arms. I love you. And I know you love me. I just don't want to continue to have you in my arm. Okay, dang, we've been on here 2 hours. Well, I'm not gonna hold y'all because I know y'all tired of hearing me talk, and I don't know if what I'm talking about has any bearing on how your day will go. But hopefully, our discussion about friendships, our discussion about therapy and life and growth and development was one of them that impacted today of your life. A couple of minutes or however long you've been alive. I truly appreciate y'all coming by. Not only because you could be anywhere else with your time on this beautiful Saturday, and y'all have spent it with me 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours on YouTube. As always, I love YouTube only because I feel like it's another form of way to express myself, which I express myself in multiple ways. And that's why y'all should follow me on all social media platforms so y'all can also see those other ways I express myself, which is delightful_John. So if you are not already subscribed to my channel, like this video, follow me on all social medias, as we already said. And hopefully, remember, we're going live for 30 days. So meaning I'll be live until not May, April. I think it's April 10th. So I'll be going live every day. And that was the goal that we set here by Marlene and Bree. And so I'm gonna stick to it because it's been officially 7 years I've been on YouTube. So that was the reason I went live originally. And I just want to continue to go live just to honor that commitment that I said of 30 days. So every day I'll be going live into the 10th, and we'll be having a good time, good discussions. People can come up on a live if they like. Some of them will be live already with people that would be guests. And then some lives will be open like this forum where people can come up if they like. If they don't have to, but we'll just have a topic to discuss and people can have, their feedback on certain situations. Or you just have me talk about stuff and have me ramble for 2 hours or an hour. Normally at minimum, we were going to do live for 20 minutes at minimum. That's the goal of every live, 20 minutes. And so far I have surpassed that goal of being on live for 20 minutes. They've all been an hour or more. Only one was 20 minutes. And that was because I forgot why. I think I had went out and I couldn't I didn't have enough time to do a full hour live. I like to have hour live. I feel like that's the best way to do a live. I feel like you go live, I want to give you an hour of my time. You know what I mean? And don't forget, I still have my affiliate code with Hi-O. That is Dawn15 for that. If you are a lady and you use sanitary options, this is a more eco-friendly way to do sanitary. I'm trying to menstrual cycles, and they also have like other stuff on there. I don't know what it is. I need to go look. I ain't looked at it in like 2 years. But the lady told me yesterday, you still have a code with us. I'm like, do I? I said, oh, sure, I need to start pushing y'all. So yeah, hopefully one live we'll do about Hi-O. But yeah, y'all have a beautiful rest of y'all weekend. Stay blessed. Continue to speak positivity in yourself. I always say this, like, I no longer speak negativity or try not to speak negativity amongst myself. If you feel yourself speaking negative or you say it counteract it with a word of kindness for yourself. And do that on a daily basis. Like speaking to yourself. Like no one's going to have your back like you. No one's going to love you like you and the man above. But remember to speak positivity into yourself. You have to be the change that you want to see. If you want to see change amongst yourself, you have to start that off with the way that you treat yourself, whether that's financially, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You need to be loving on yourself, period. But with that said, this live is over. So stay unapologetically you and all that you do. I'll see y'all in tomorrow's live. Peace, love, and hair grease, everybody. Thank you for coming through.